Admit Her Honour the Lieutenant Governor.
It is the wish of the Lieutenant Governor that all present be seated.
Members of the House of Assembly, a proclamation has been issued by Her Honour the Lieutenant Governor under the Great Seal of the Province, which reads as follows. To Kim Hawley George, KC, Clerk of the House of Assembly, and Kimberly Hammond, Principal Clerk of Proceedings, and Bobby Russell, Principal Clerk of Committees. Greeting. A proclamation. Whereas a general election of the members of the House of Assembly of the Province of Newfoundland and Labrador was held on October 14, 2025. And whereas I, as Lieutenant Governor of the Province of Newfoundland and Labrador, think fit to summon the 51st General Assembly for the dispatch of business, and for the members of the House of Assembly to proceed to elect their choice of Speaker. Now therefore I, Lieutenant Governor of the Province of Newfoundland and Labrador, do authorize and direct you, the said Kim Hawley George, Kimberly Hammond, and Bobby Russell, or any of you, to signify to the members of the said House of Assembly to assemble for the dispatch of business on Monday, November 3rd, 2025, at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and that it is my pleasure that they should proceed to choose some person to be their Speaker and to present such person for my approbation.
All rise.
Please be seated. At the close of nominations for the office of the Speaker at 4:30 p.m. on Friday, October 31st, one candidate put their name forward. Accordingly, further to Standing Order 4.4, I declare Paul Lane, member for the District of Mount Pearl Southlands, as Speaker for the 51st General Assembly.
You don't look too reluctant.
Thank you. This is the point in time where I'm supposed to bring a few brief remarks, and the clerk had underlined the word brief, which anyone who has served with me over the years knows that that's going to be a challenge in and of itself. For members who are new to the House of Assembly, and to those in the gallery, what you witnessed here as they were bringing me in, it goes back to an old parliamentary tradition from many years back. And basically how it worked was that in the early days of a House of Assembly or a People's Assembly over in England and so on, once the House sat, the People's House sat, it would be the role of the Speaker to bring forth the discussions that were had in the House. He would bring it forth to the King as to what the people wanted, what the people demanded. So let's just say that there were probably cases back in those days that the Speaker may have walked in, but he didn't necessarily walk out. So hence the tradition of I guess, pretending that you don't want to hold this particular seat. I would say to my two colleagues, the Leader of the Official Opposition, the Honourable Premier, that if I actually didn't want this seat, you'd have to bring your whole caucus to drag me in here. But you did a great job. It is such a pleasure to be here. I just want to take a moment, first of all, just to welcome my special guests, that being members of my family, some of my best, I'll say, supporters, leaders in my community where I've served for many years. And it's an absolute honor to have you all here. And I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for people like the people in this gallery who have supported me and have led by example through all the great community work that happens. Special mention, of course, to my wife, Charmaine, my two daughters. I'm not normally like this, you know that, boys. My two daughters, Chantal and Chelsea. And, you know, over the years, it's not easy, as everyone here can attest to. Public life is not easy, and you can't do it unless you have the support of your family. And they've been nothing but supportive to me. I love them dearly, and I'm so glad that they're here. I also want to recognize some of our House Assembly staff, not just here at our table officers, but there are other House Assembly staff that are here in the galleries, and some of our statutory officers. I just want to say that I truly look forward to working with you all. I do truly appreciate the work that you do. A lot of the work that's done is done behind the scenes. The general public don't necessarily see or totally comprehend the work that's done by these staff, but I know all members here do. We appreciate you, I appreciate you, and I intend on having a very positive relationship as my term as Speaker of the House. Certainly to our statutory officers as well. You play such a tremendous role, a very, very important role, and likewise I want to have a very positive relationship moving forward and to support you in any way I can so that you can do the important work that you do for the people of this wonderful province. You know, sometimes I guess when you get a little older, more mature I suppose in some ways, you start and you have more years behind you than you think you might have in front of you. And you start to reflect on things. And I think of the road not taken. I'm sure many of us know that, and we would have learned it in school. And you think about all the twists and turns in your life, decisions you made, decisions you did, where it led you. I'm thinking about the road for a moment as I reflect on this. I'm kind of thinking of the road taken, actually, not the road not taken. And I would be remiss if I never mentioned this. But if you were to ask me many years ago about public life, I probably would have said to you at that time that it wasn't something that I had much knowledge of, certainly never pictured myself involved or standing here today for sure. But I made a decision back a number of years ago to get involved politically. I had just been new to the community, to Mount Pearl. I moved in and I decided to get involved. I won't get into the reasons, but I did. And I can remember for the very first time walking into the old paint shop on Topsa Road, corner Topsa Road, Commonwealth Avenue, and there I met a gentleman who was running in the provincial election by the name of Harvey Hodder. I hadn't known that gentleman at the time, first time I had ever met him, but I would say I was probably one of his strongest volunteers. We became great friends, and he became not just a friend to me, but a mentor to me. And I've always taken the learnings that he's taught me and have tried to apply it to how I operate in my community and in this house. He was a true gentleman. He's pictured here on the wall in the House Assembly, and it really feels like a full circle moment for me that all these years, after getting involved in the political process for the very first time, to gain him as a friend and a mentor, and all these years later, I'm actually Speaker of the House Assembly, the same as my good friend, Harvey Hodder. I only wish he were here today, but I feel like he's here in spirit. And I hope I can be half the speaker and person as he was. I truly do. This, as I've said, is an absolute honor and a privilege for me. We should all be honored. We should all be privileged. You think about it, we have over 500,000 people living in this province. And of those over 500,000 people, they chose 40 of us to represent them. Just think about what an honor and what a privilege that is for each and every single one of us. And we owe it to them. We owe it to all of our constituents, not just to represent them well outside of this House Assembly, not just to be present in the community, not just in ministerial duties, if that's the case, if you're a minister, not just in opposition duties, but in this House Assembly, in this place, which should be a place of respect, a place of dignity, of treating each other with respect. The people of this province expect and deserve no less. I want to work with all members in a very fair and unbiased manner. It doesn't matter to me what side of the House that you sit on. We are 40 equals in this House. I will guarantee you, each one of you, you will have my cooperation as required, and you will have my respect. But in return, I expect this House, this chamber, to be respected, and to be respected at all times. I understand that we're all passionate people. I understand sometimes in the heat of debate things get said. From time to time, a little bit of levity is not a bad thing, I would say, and I'm sure most members would agree. But from an overall perspective, in terms of decorum, in terms of how we conduct ourselves in this House Assembly, we owe it to the people to do it in a professional and a respectful way. And I'm placing the challenge on every member to do just that. I don't want to be someone who has to come down on members. That's not my goal. I shouldn't have to, quite frankly. But I will ensure we have order in this House Assembly, and I will utilize the tools at my disposal when required to make sure that happens. With that said, again, I just want to congratulate all members on the re-election. Thank everybody for coming, my special guests, those in the gallery. This is, again, an absolute honor, privilege for me, and I intend on making sure I do not let my family down, I do not let my constituents down, and I do not let the people of Newfoundland and Labrador down in this role. And I'm sure everybody else feels the same way. Thank you.
All rise.
Admit her honor the Lieutenant Governor.
It's a wish of the Lieutenant Governor for everybody present to be seated.
May it please your honor, the House of Assembly, agreeable to your honor's command, have proceeded to the choice of a speaker and have elected MHA Paul Lane of Mount Pearl Southlands to that office, and by their direction, I present them for your honor's approval.
On behalf of His Majesty, I assure you of my sense of your efficiency, and I do most fully approve and confirm you as Speaker.
Your Honor, having approved choice of this House in constituting me as their Speaker, it now becomes my duty, in the name of the representatives of His Majesty's loyal subjects, the people of this province, respectfully to claim of your honor their accustomed rights and privileges, especially that they shall have freedom of speech in their debates, that they may be free from arrest during attendance in Parliament, and that I, as Speaker, have full access to your honor's presence at all reasonable times, and that they have confirmed to them all their ancient rights and privileges which have been confirmed them by your honor's predecessors.
Speaker, I do confirm this House on behalf of His Majesty in the enjoyment of all its ancient and undoubted rights and privileges. I'll have a few words. Good afternoon. Congratulations to each of you on being elected to serve the people of Newfoundland and Labrador. Each of you sits in this honorable House having been selected by the people of your individual districts. Truly, you are an embodiment of our democracy. Being chosen as a member of this House is an enormous privilege. Newfoundland and Labrador has a unique and storied past. The deliberations and debates that have unfolded within this chamber and in the chambers that preceded it have shaped the province that we hold so dear. You, the members of the 51st General Assembly, will help guide the next chapters of our shared history. The responsibilities before you will be substantial. At the opening of the 45th Parliament of Canada in Ottawa last May, His Majesty King Charles III said to the assembled members, senators, and people of Canada, "We owe it to this generation and those who succeed us to think and act for the greater good of all. In this House of Assembly, know that your actions, your deliberations, your votes in this legislature will impact the people of our province. You are here for the greater good and to honor those who sacrificed for our freedom and our democracy. In this year of the 100th anniversary of women's right to vote and to hold public office, we are also here to remember the struggle of those women for a more inclusive society. Without that right, this Assembly would be looking very different today. Without that right, some of you wouldn't be here. But because of the steadfast effort and commitment of those leaders, those changers, those doers who worked so hard, that right was granted 100 years ago in 1925, following a unanimous vote in the House of Assembly. We must never forget that we stand on the shoulders of giants who went before, and we must never take for granted the rights and privileges that we enjoy. As you embark upon this journey, the 51st General Assembly of Newfoundland and Labrador, I wish you all the very best, and I invite you to continue discussing the issues that we face as a society while modeling open-mindedness, collaboration, empathy, and respect. Remember to take time to appreciate this enormous privilege you have been granted to serve the people of our province in this honorable House of Assembly. And I would also ask that you acknowledge and also appreciate the family members and the family members of the heart that have helped you along the way as you begin this new journey. Thank you very much.
All rise.
The Honourable the Government House Leader. Oh, sorry, I'll be seated. Now, the Honourable the Government House Leader.
Thank you, Speaker. Speaker, I move, seconded by the member from Cape St. Francis, that this House do now adjourn to the call of the Chair.
It has been moved and seconded that this House now do adjourn to the college here. All those in favour? Against? House is now adjourned.